My favorite part about the plot twist, and I've never been there, is your freaking wall with the books and the neon.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah,
everybody's favorite part? Like you've made your bookstore very Instagrammable.
it is. And we knew going into it, we wanted a photo moment. And so it took a lot of TikTok research to figure out like the aesthetic we were going for. And we knew we wanted it to be pages, and we wanted to have a really cool neon sign. And so it really honestly, what took us the longest was figuring out the neon sign. We just didn't know what we wanted it to say. Mom and I put like all the pages on the background. We nailed it to the wall, did all the little folds on the book pages. It just really took us a little bit longer to figure out what that slogan was going to be. And so then we came for the plot, stayed for the twist. And now we kind of use that with everything.
It's so good. You know, it's funny. I have a similar wall in my house with the
Yes.
books and the pages, and my mom and I also did it.
Oh my gosh. It was definitely a very fun, creative moment that we got to share together.
And it's so easy. People don't realize. They look at it and they're like, oh my God, how'd you do it? And I'm like, well, I bought 8 books from Goodwill. I tore them apart. I
Yeah.
nailed them to the wall and I taped down pages that were kind of hanging out in the middle. And that's literally it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was the easy part. And then putting the cute little flowers in it. It really didn't take too long.
Let's back up before all of this. Start from when you had the idea to open up a bookstore and
Yeah.
how you actually acted on that, because I feel like all of us avid readers, we all want our own bookstore, but it is an investment and the profit margin with selling books is low.
Yes.
So you need to diversify and make money other ways. So talk to me from idea to actually like investment, your first investment.
I was a teacher for 5 years, so that's kind of the career path that I was very passionate about, and I still am passionate about teaching and science. I taught science, but me and my best friend, we bonded over reading, and we would have girls' nights, and we would drink wine and just have our own little book club moments, and we kind of just joked about how we needed to do this somewhere else because we both had young kids, and they would always come in and out of the rooms and it was never, alone time with us being able to really just fully immerse ourselves in books. And God, we love our children. So it's not that we were trying to get away from the children, but we know we needed some time to ourselves and for our friendship. And so we just kind of joked about how fun it would be to go to a place that was a bar and a bookstore. And so me and her kind of sparked the idea. And then it was months later. It was my last year teaching. I knew that I wanted to do something different. And I was really trying to figure out what my purpose was in life, like what was I meant to be doing. And I've always struggled like socially with people, and I'm very introverted, and have my own social anxieties that I deal with. So I knew I wanted to focus on my own personal growth, and kind of venture out and meet new people. And I figured the best way to do that was through books because I love talking about books. Whereas I would shy away from conversation, I fully immerse myself in conversation about books. And so I came to my mom early last year. So I think it was in January of last year. I came to her and I told her how fun it would be to have a bookstore and a bar. And we just kind of joked about it. We didn't have any set plans. It wasn't like no romance was in the talks. And then a few months after that, I was like, no, but really, we should really do this. And she was like, okay, well, I mean, I would love to do that. My mom is very entrepreneur spirit. Her and her mom did something very similar when she was younger. They had their own little side hustle that they did. And it was always her dream to own a boutique. And so we kind of merged those together, her dream and my dream. And so where we really wanted to focus and narrow in on was the romance side. And we figured that there were so many other things that we could accompany with romance besides just the books. There's just a huge community and following and a love for romance novels. And we knew that we could hit that niche, but then also with the bar, we knew that it was just very unique aspect into a bookstore because most of the time it's a bookstore and a coffee shop, or books and wine, and we really focused on making it something that you can't find just anywhere. And being very purposeful in what we wanted to present, our store as being, and it's always a bookstore first, but we also want to sell the experience, the experience of a place where you can feel included and safe, and feel that community when you walk in, and just have that space to meet new book lovers. And gosh, it's very humbling to see so many people who just make friends in our building, and walk out. So that's really our purpose and our goal, and kind of how it just manifested itself. We started as pop-ups. My mom is the whole financial backing of the entire business. So we wouldn't be where we are without her financial contribution. And I took out of my retirement, my teacher retirement. Like we met with the TWU. I was a TWU graduate, and so we got to reach out to there. They have a small business association, where we got to do some like one-on-one conversation and like advice and planning. And we were kind of around the range like, well, to start a business, you need 100 grand to do that. And mom and I were like, watch us do it for less. And we did. We managed to stay well below 100,000 just with, um, again, my mom, she's also a serial DIYer. So she wanted to do and build everything herself. And so that's what we did. We really tried to stay within our means and put as much love into the building as possible. And I think we just got really lucky with our location. We looked for a few months. We started with pop-ups I think we were only doing pop-ups for about a month and a half. And then we drove around downtown all the time. It was kind of like our weekly thing. We'd get in the car and just drive and see if we could find a place for lease. But we knew we needed to find like a mom and pop shop. We needed somebody who was not going to gouge us for $10,000 a month on a rent, because that was not going to be feasible, especially because, yeah, there's not a whole lot of margin with selling books. And so we got really lucky and just have the most wonderful, amazing landlords. And, the community here in Denton, where we're at, is just super supportive. And so it's just kind of um, manifested itself, and it has been just a blessing. A lot of learning, but also a very big blessing.
I used to work in the restaurant industry back when I was in college, and then I did PR for restaurants. So I know the profit margin on alcohol is very high.
So high,
So
yes.
that's amazing that you have like the books where you're like, wah, wah, when it comes to profit, but like so exciting to talk about and to do. It's such a great combo because one, you never hear of a bar in a bookstore. Again, you hear of those other things. And it's a great way to make sure that you are having some profit after the revenue.
Yeah, and it allows us to be in our book choices. It allows us to carry indie authors where a lot of bookstores can't. Not that they don't want to, but they can't because that profit margin is half of what normal books are. And so that gives us a lot of flexibility to be able to showcase indie authors. And it's so amazing to hear when people come in like, oh my gosh, you have this author? I have her on KU and I never find her books anywhere. And I'm like, yes, we carry as much as we can, in the store. And so that has been also a huge blessing for us to have that aspect to where we can be way more flexible in what we have available in the store.
Is the biggest expense outside of rent and whatever remodeling of the space you did? I'm assuming, just from what I've heard, that a liquor license is not cheap.
It is not cheap. No. And on top of the liquor license, I mean, you have to go through your county as well, and you have to pay almost the same fee that Texas charges because we're in Texas and they charge a specific fee to have the license. But you have to turn around and pay that same, almost exact same price for your fee for your county. So it's way more than what we imagined it was going to be, but I think the payoff was also a lot more than what we had anticipated. And so, yeah, we went in knowing that the liquor itself wasn't going to be the costly thing, but just having that license and then the wait, because you have to wait on the state, to approve it. And so we were in a waiting period for, I think, about a month which is a lot faster than most of the like my friend, her family owns a business and they were waiting 6 to 8 weeks for their liquor license to go through, where ours was, I think, like 4 weeks. So it was a very quick turnaround for us. So we played it off the dry January, and that was super fun with our mocktail menu. And then we were able to, in February, have our full bar and going. So it was a lot of fun.
That's a genius idea. Okay, for me, like I always one thing I hated like when I was younger and would go out, like I remember I met my husband in a bar and I
Uh-huh.
remember my friend saying, "I cannot believe you met a man in a bar," because I remember in college we would go out and if a man would even try to talk to you, you'd be like, "Nope, I'm here with my friends, leave me alone." And
Yeah.
I envision like because we're in a romance bookstore, but we're also at a bar, it's like you feel like you're at like a Taylor Swift concert where it's all just like-minded women and you feel safe. Like there's not going to be a creepy man hitting on you at the plot twist.
Yes, absolutely. I think that was our biggest surprise through it all is the amount of men who come to be with their significant other. And majority of the time they know that maybe there's a bar, so that's how they get them. Like, oh, there's a bar, it's okay, you can hang out in the bar. And so that was our biggest like wow moment is there are like just as many men who walk through our doors daily as there are women. And so we had to really cater our menu as well to that so that when they are here just for support, and we have that couch in the front, and we kind of joke that we need to start putting like Sports Illustrated on like the front table or something, like some car magazines, because that's like the hot spot for for the men when they just come in and just wait and let their women shop. And so that has been really eye-opening and allowed us to also kind of change things up and see how supportive how easy it is to get their men to come to with them shopping.
Tell me about what else you do to make it unique. Like you mentioned the menu. How do you play up the menu at the plot twist?
We have a very specialty menu, so you can't just come and order a cosmopolitan. We have like all of our drinks are inspired by books. Some of them are just our favorite books. And the flavors within those are also inspired by certain characters. So one of my favorites is the Barlow's Demise. And if anyone has read Fourth Wing, it is
Okay,
a
I was gonna say I don't know that one.
yes, it is
Okay.
Fourth Wing inspired, and the character's name is Jack Barlow. And I think it's a consensus that everyone just hates him and he will not die, but he's allergic to oranges. And so that's our mimosa is called Barlow's Demise. Um,
Genius.
and
So
we have
clever.
such fun names. I mean, we get complimented a lot just on our names. Our
Give me
drinks.
more. Give me
Yeah.
more.
We have Tamlin's Tears.
I know him. I know
So
Tamlin.
they have some bitters, drops of bitters, because we use a little bitter. We have the Zaddy, and that one is a play on Zayden from Fourth Wing as well.
Okay.
And it has a little glitter moment. So we have edible glitter in it, and it's sparkly and shiny. It's a little sweet, but also a little tart. And it has a blueberry top to represent Sigel, his dragon. Let's see what's our other good ones. We have a lot, like we have a themed book of the month one. So every month we change our menu and we add our new book of the month. So this month was Wild Side by Elsie Silver. And so it was a very green, chai tea inspired, Western flavored cocktail. And then our signature plot twist. We have a plot twist inspired one that's very good as well.
Does your bartender just like obsess over these drinks and fixing them up and naming them and like designing like all of the things?
Absolutely. Me and her almost every month have a day, like a planning day. And sometimes it's just like random thoughts during the work week. But we'll have a planning day where we plan out, menu and flavors. And we had one day, it was a couple weeks ago, because we're planning for our new menu. And we just sit there and try all of these new flavors and these drinks that we want to add. We're adding a margarita to the menu, which has been, we didn't have anything tequila based. So we're like, oh, let's add, a book inspired tequila, margarita. And so we were trying them all. And when I tell you I left work that day tipsy because the amount of drinks that I had, and it's just so fun but it's also just so it just really sparks our creativity. And I mean, I was a science nerd, so I enjoy, being able to mix and take different things and mix them together and make something really unique and beautiful. And so we have a lot of fun doing that.
Okay, so note to self, if I ever open up a bookstore, I need to splurge on the liquor license.
You too. You just have to. It's so fun. It's a game changer just for, I mean, book clubs. When we're having book clubs, and we have almost everybody in book club wanting to buy a drink while they're talking about their books. It's just, I feel part of the experience. That's kind of what we tell everybody. You want the full experience when you come in through our doors. Not only just shopping, but go grab a drink from the bar, and it doesn't have to be a cocktail. We also have mocktails, which was something my mom was very adamant about because she doesn't drink as well. But a lot of the mocktails you find at different restaurants, like you can tell they're mocktails, just a juice, and some Sprite or not very unique, flavorful in pretty glasses. And so we made it, real a focus to make sure that our mocktails, you couldn't tell the difference. You couldn't tell if you were drinking a mocktail or a cocktail, and it still felt very inclusive. So it's been really fun.
That's so fun. So
Mhm.
obviously, when it comes to marketing, your location is important.
Yeah.
So, people got to know where you are. What other forms of marketing did you do and do you still do to get people to come through your doors?
Social media has been probably the most important marketing that we thought would ever be as important as it is. I myself do not like social media. So in the beginning, it was me and my mom running our social media. And you have to be obviously up to trend and know like what is popular and understand the algorithm. It's a whole thing that I feel like you need a class on. But we were lucky and had a wonderful human being who had been volunteering with us, and she did social media and content creation as her job. And she ended up just kind of coming on with us full time and doing our all of our content creation and our social media. And so she's daily posting things on social media. We're having the reels, and that's really where I feel like we had a very big uptick in the attention is from our TikTok. We had a lot of viral TikToks, and that transpired to, I mean, so many people come in through our doors daily saying that they have found us on TikTok. And so it has been very interesting to hear either in TikTok or Instagram, and that's where they found us and see us. We hear all the time, you're just everywhere. I'm like, well, that's amazing. I love to hear that. People are sharing it. And so that's a lot of where our marketing comes from, is just social media. We don't do anything outside of social media for
Well,
for
that's
marketing.
how I found you. I found you on Instagram, and you get a lot of views on your reels. Like your engagement is very good compared to your followers. Like as of right now, you have over 19,000 followers, but your reels get like 21,000, 9,000, 15,000. Like you get a lot of views on the stuff that you post. And
Yeah.
like I said, that's how I found you. So
Mhm.
you guys are doing a really good job. And then I just followed you on TikTok too. And similar thing. You have one video promoting your grand opening. It's got 2.5 million views. And then all
Mhm.
your other ones, like you're in the thousands. So that's super impressive to
Yeah.
to be able to do that on social because socials like it's hard. It's
Good.
hard. It used to be a lot easier, but now, Mark Zuckerberg, he doesn't have enough money. He wants us to pay for ads to get people to
Yes.
see our stuff. So
Yes.
it's tough now.
It is. Yeah. And that's why I like when I first started doing it and I was doing it on my own. So you can see like our first TikTok videos are like us in our kitchen making cocktails, and like our first drink was Talen's Tears. And so that was like one of our first TikTok videos. And we had very low engagement, and as soon as our content creator came on with us, I mean, she's a genius, and she's got that mindset of what do people want to see? And she does her research, and she just makes it fun. She's had me and my mom do a lot of funny things that have worked out. So anytime she says to do something, we're like, yes, when and where. We will do
Your
it.
mom sounds amazing.
She's very just like go with the flow. Whatever she can to support everybody. She's the most supportive, loving, just kind of carefree, but she's definitely more headstrong than me. So she's my business guru. So she makes all the final decisions, and um yeah, she's where I think maybe I'm a little bit more of the carefree. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. She comes in it with the business mindset a lot of the times too.
Tell me what you're reading now and what the last best book you read was.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I'm actually reading one of our local authors, Lindsay Roden. I'm a very much a fantasy girl, and so she has a dark fantasy called A Tether Through the Rift. And so I just recently started reading that, and it sold me because I'm very much about strong female main characters. Usually going through maybe like a mental block. And she's very much having to go through, she has amnesia and she's trying to having to learn herself again. And, she has a lot of anxiety. And so for me, I relate more to characters who have to go through self-love and that journey. So I'm really enjoying that. And it is a darker fantasy, so it has those darker elements in it. But that's what I'm currently reading. And the last book that I think I stayed up, and I haven't done that in a long time, but that I stayed up reading. There's actually a few, but I'll just give you a couple. The last one was The Ever King and the Ever Queen by L.J. Andrews. And that one, like, think Pirates of the Caribbean, but make it hotter. And it was just,
Make it sexy.
yes, it was so good. That one and or Phantasma by Kaylee Smith.
You are the third person on this podcast to say Phantasma.
And I'm telling you, I'm super picky. I'm very picky. Now, I did not like the way that one ended. Like I thought it was going to be a continuation, and the story ends and wraps in one, which is fine. I love my series, but it was so fun. Like literally, this is what I tell everybody. Think of like if Beetlejuice, Casper, and oh gosh, what's the other one? Because like she has to say his name 3 times for him to appear. He's a phantom. Oh gosh, there was another one that I had together, but it's very much like Beetlejuice, very like Danny Phantom vibes. So it was very good. I really enjoyed it. Oh, and Hunger Games, that's what it was. Hunger Games.
Okay. I did read Hunger Games. I'm not a fantasy girl, despite my Valaris t-shirt,
Yeah.
but I did read Hunger Games. I did Harry Potter. I did Twilight. And then everybody was like, oh my God, read ACOTAR. And I did, and I liked it. And I have a big crush on Reese. And
Absolutely.
now everybody says I need to read Fourth Wing because I liked ACOTAR.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, I really enjoyed the first one. The second one was, in my opinion, a lot slower, obviously, and so it was harder for me to get through. And I have not finished the third one. It has been on page 37 for months now. So I'm like, I'll go back to it eventually. So
What advice do you have for anybody who wants to open a bookstore or start a bookish business?
branch out and find connections and network as soon as possible. We're always open to answering questions. It's a lot harder these days. But me and my mom just jumped in the car with my sister-in-law, and we just drove around Texas and went to other book bars, other bookstores. We've met a lot of owners of bookstores and just picked their brains because there's just so much information that you do not know when you start out, and we had no clue, especially the bookstore part, but also the bar part. And so meet new people, go to, a book convention, meet other bookstore owners, authors, talking to authors and hearing their perspective as well. And I will say that my mom and I are working on doing like our own Zoom for those who are looking to start their own bookstore. We're going to open up like a Zoom here soon so that if anyone has questions, we'll make it just like a Q&A for anyone who's just curious on where to get started, because we have learned so much and have so much knowledge that we would love to share with others too.